Hi there guys, so upon meeting Mike Tyson, Andy Ruiz Jr. has explained the advice that Mike Tyson had given him, and it wasn't necessarily about what he was doing in the ring, because Andy Ruiz Jr. seems to have that down to a T, but it was outside of the ring, how Andy Ruiz Jr. can conduct himself as a champion, and make sure he does not fall down the wrong path. This is what Andy Ruiz Jr. had to say about meeting Mike Tyson. Meeting Mike Tyson, he was one of the biggest fighters that I have always wanted to meet, and once I did, he gave me some advice. He told me to just be careful outside of the ring. Inside of the ring, he said I am doing good, but just be careful outside of it. So obviously the words of wisdom from Mike Tyson are to not fall down the wrong path and make sure that he is focusing on his career in boxing, not necessarily about all this other stuff, because that can be gone with the snap of a finger. It can go so quickly as soon as you lose a fight or you don't look good in a fight, all of a sudden you're yesterday's news. So all of that doesn't really bear thinking about or worrying about. It's just about what happens in the ring. That is what is important, his career. And he has a very tough task in Anthony Joshua coming up on December 7th. Anthony Joshua has that fire back and he wants to win his titles back. And not only does he want to win them back, he wants to do it in explosive fashion. So obviously Andy Ruiz Jr. must be focused on his boxing, and I believe that is the message from Mike Tyson. Make sure that he is focusing on his boxing and make sure that he is ready for Anthony Joshua, because if he cuts any corners, it will show in the fight. And Andy Ruiz Jr. is now world champion. He is also financially secure. He can go anywhere in the world he wants. He can do pretty much whatever he wants. He can buy most things. But none of that matters in boxing, because none of that will win you a fight. It's like Marvin Hagler said, you cannot get up in the morning when you have silk pajamas on. And that is very, very true. So ultimately what Mike Tyson is trying to say to Andy Ruiz Jr. is make sure that you stay humble, stay grounded, and make sure you keep the people around you who are doing good for you. Not necessarily invite new people in who are just interested in his fame, because none of those people will be there when that disappears. That's the thing, there is always another boxer coming up ready to challenge for those world titles. They keep coming because there are so many fighters out there who want to have that opportunity to have their shot at those world titles. Nothing else matters to them, and obviously that makes them very dangerous, because that is the only thing they have their sights set on, becoming world champion and being at the top of the tree. So that is why it is just as hard to be a champion as it is to get there, because maintaining that status is not easy. Going back to the well cliched Marvin Hagler quote, it's hard to get out of bed when you are sleeping in silk pajamas, and that is so true. So a fighter who is able to maintain that world championship status while fighting the best out there is an incredible champion. I mean, Anthony Joshua, did he ever really duck anyone? I mean, he's fought Dillian Whyte, who is probably #1 heavyweight contender in the world. He's fought Joseph Parker, an undefeated world champion at the time. He's fought Alexander Povetkin, who has just had a great win over Hughie Fury, who is an up-and-coming fighter as well. And obviously, you have Vladimir Klitschko, the legend. He has beat him. So Anthony Joshua has faced all comers, and he has come out on top until he came across Andy Ruiz Jr., and he came unstuck. But Andy Ruiz Jr. was a great fighter. He was better than people made out. And obviously, you look at the aesthetics of the guy, and you think, that guy can't fight. But when you get in the ring with him, it's a whole different ball game. And Andy Ruiz Jr. shown that on June 1st. But Anthony Joshua is going to challenge for those world titles once more. He is going straight for the rematch. He doesn't want any tune-up fights because he is at world level and he has been competing at that level. And it will be more than just a fight on December 7th, because Anthony Joshua has had his first pro loss, and it has came against Andy Ruiz Jr., the guy who he will be rematching in Saudi Arabia. So you have those demons that Anthony Joshua will have to get past on December 7th. Not only will he have to fight Andy Ruiz Jr., which is going to be tough enough as it is, he will also have those demons to face as well, going back in there with the only guy to beat him as a professional. And the outcome of the fight could come down to who is the stronger character out of the two. Both of them are strong characters, but we will see who is the stronger out of the two. But I'm not saying that's what's going to win the fight alone. There is a lot more that comes into it. There's obviously technical abilities with Andy Ruiz Jr.'s fast hands inside fighting, and his ability to negotiate his way past Anthony Joshua's jab and get on the inside. And obviously there is the physical attributes and boxing ability of Anthony Joshua. We have seen he can do it against Joseph Parker. He outboxed him over 12 rounds, kept him on the outside, but Andy Ruiz Jr. seems to be able to get on the inside and close that distance. So Anthony Joshua will need to find a remedy for that. Obviously, maybe just tie him up on the inside, make sure he ties him up turn him and then get back to center ring. Because if Anthony Joshua can demand center ring, then Andy Ruiz Jr. is fighting a different fight than he is used to, because Andy Ruiz Jr. likes to take center ring and make the other fighter work and then take it to the body. I believe that is going to be his game plan against Anthony Joshua. Make him tire out and take it to the body. He done it last time. That is what slowed Anthony Joshua down in the 6th round. Andy Ruiz Jr. was taking it to the body, and it took its toll on Anthony Joshua. But AJ will have a different game plan going into this fight. He has had adequate sparring, and he will be preparing for Andy Ruiz Jr., not Jarrell Miller, because that is what he done last time. He had all that animosity built up, and then Andy Ruiz Jr. came in, who was respectful, and he wasn't trash talking with Anthony Joshua. So that kind of almost let Anthony Joshua's guard down slightly. But that won't be the case in this fight, because Anthony Joshua will be fully focused on Andy Ruiz Jr. and no one else. But obviously the psychological side will come into it big time as well. In fact, that will be maybe a deciding factor in this fight. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Mike Tyson's comments towards Andy Ruiz Jr. and his advice to stay on the right path and focus on his boxing, not all of this other stuff outside of the ring. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, click the thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.